I'm welcomed to the opening day of Chinese New Year celebrations with a sparkling blue sky shining through my bay windows while Baghdad imitating explosives and children's laughter reverberate through the laneway. 2013, the year of the snake. The Chinese do indeed love a New Year's firecracker. The snow and Siberian cold of my initial month here are a distant memory. From all reports, December was one of the coldest on record. January was gorgeous, clear blue skies at perfect, manageably freezing temperatures. The sky's clarity was not overly endearing to this great nation, though. It meant simply that the view from the office included more precise vision of the endless power plants burning plumes of toxic gas into the already contamination-saturated air. It's Saturday morning, February 9. I've got 8 days of public holidays to properly celebrate the wonder of the snake. I'd originally planned a trip home to Australia, but had to forego that idea through a nightmare cavalcade of paperwork which had to be filled if I were to ever regain entry back into this overpopulated landmass. Fuck it. I'll be out here soon enough. We'll leave the current visa untouched. No, I've settled on 8 days of sleep, DVDs and walking the city. I jump in for a leisurely 30-minute shower, towel off and throw on my jeans and a jumper. The French concession is a ghost town this morning. Workmates have told me the Chinese New Year week-long party is the only time of year that Shanghai is ever quiet. The city's population halves. Most residents use the opportunity to return home to see their families in the countless small villages throughout this vast country. The majority of shops have their windows boarded up. The only spit on the sidewalk is stale and resilient, not fresh and fluid. The walkway is all mine. There are no shoulder-charging heroics to be achieved in order to move freely. I see one lone car driving away about 500 metres down the street. There's nothing but frail sun shining my back and a peaceful sense of Armageddon tranquility shattered every few moments by laneway firecrackers and children's laughter. I turn solo down into the West Nanjing Road train station entrance. Not a soul. I check the timetable. Trains are still running. I hear the rattling tracks signalling one on the approach. I race down the stairs and across an empty platform to take a seat on the train. A seat. This is civilised. I am on the same line as would normally take me to work. As there is no crush of humankind to prevent me, I hop out at the first stop, the People's Square station. I complete the underground labyrinth to find the surface and commence my walking tour with a Starbucks coffee. The caffeine bastion of 24/7 civilization is open. The People's Park is breathtaking. Literally. My first view of outstretched lush green grass in months causes me instinctively to breathe in deeply, only for the noxious air to meet stiff opposition in the unblemished lining of my lungs. Even on a clear day in Shanghai, the air pollution index rarely drops below unhealthy levels. Oxygen hits are all the rage in Beijing apparently. Pure oxygen is selling like hotcakes. Fuck humanity. I can see the future and I'm scared shitless. There aren't any O2 dealers in this park, so I persevere with my morning stroll, coughing and sputtering like a beaten-up Holden Kingswood. Shallow breathing a must. I make my way through the park. My thoughts are consumed with the firm knowledge the world as a whole, and China more specifically, would be greatly improved if the one-child policy were reduced to zero. But all that rational thinking aside, there is a unique charisma to the gritty grandeur of Shanghai, the New York of Asia, the true Gotham City that Batman has chosen to shun. I continue walking for over 3 hours, or 4 cappuccinos. Whichever measuring tool suits you best is fine with me. The cold air is best staved off by holding onto warm styrofoam filled with Arabica. I'm not too sure exactly where I am, but I've arrived at a 3-way intersection and a large group of Anglo-looking blokes are standing in front of the Camel Sports Bar. "Hey mate, you here for the footy today?" One of the guys yells across the street to me with a clear Aussie twang. A rickety bus wobbles towards the Camel. All the blokes grab their sports bags lying on the footpath. "Come on, you're in the right spot. First game today. Doesn't matter if you haven't been training yet. I'm Tom. Did you get an email from me about joining the club?" I walk across the street and join the group of 16 to 50-year-old blokes. "Oh, g'day, Tom. Sorry, I'm not sure. Footy?" It's been 2 months since I've spoken English face-to-face with a Westerner. The words feel awkward and strained. It's taken me this long to feel like I truly don't belong in this completely foreign city, and speaking to an Australian is the trigger to make me realise I am indeed light years from home. "Yeah, mate, the Shanghai Tigers Aussie Rules Footy Club." "Sorry, what's your name?" "Flynn." "I can't see it on my list, mate. You want to play though? Where are you from?" "Sydney." "You ever played Aussie Rules before?" "Nah, never." "Oh, perfect. You'll be fine. We're all shit. You look like you can play." "Oh, cheers, thanks. I don't have any gear though, mate." "Oh, no worries. We've got spare stuff. It's more just training today anyway. If you like it and join up properly. Hop on, buddy." Cool. Cheers, Tom." "All good. Flynn, right. I'll put your name down on the sheet. What's your surname? James. I throw my empty coffee in a bin and take a seat on the bus. Within a few minutes, the others have loaded their bags in the undercarriage and we're making our way out of the city centre. The streets are looking far more like usual now. A halving of the population still leaves a lonely 12.5 million people in the immediate vicinity. Newborns dangle from maternal arms, letting fly with gutter-filling shits. Oldies complete their osteoarthritis mitigating Tai Chi in any open space they can find. Bike-riding firecracker vendors cycle the streets, spruiking explosives available to purchase direct from their highly flammable wicker baskets. Tom takes centre stage, standing at the front of the bus with a clipboard and a Shanghai Tigers hat. Oh, welcome lads. Good to see some old faces and plenty of new ones. There are close to 30 of us here, so we'll split into 3 teams of 10 and have a round robin. Nothing too serious. Our first proper game isn't for over a month. Today'll just be a good chance to blow out the cobwebs. I'll come through the bus on the way and make sure to get everyone's emails and phone numbers and give you a membership card. And remember, just add Shanghai Tigers on Facebook and I'll always update that with game schedules and embarrassing photos of your attempts at sportsmanship. After a few games of Savo, we'll jump back on the bus and head straight back to the Camel. Just show your member card and we'll get 50% off beers and food. Should be a good day. Happy Chinese New Year, boys. I'm seated halfway down the bus. I introduce myself to a short-haired, fit-looking Irish fella next to me, Sean. He has been in Shanghai for the past 2 years after a decade in London, but has strangely developed a love affair with Aussie rules after sharing a flat with an Australian back in the UK. He runs through various amazing Aussie rules historical moments and quickly realises I have no idea what he's talking about. Smart lad though, he settles on his other passion, Chinese women, and runs me through the endless dating apps on his phone. The pictures he's showing me are of his dream girls. I find most of them look more like malnourished young boys cross-dressing in slutty outfits than dream girl. But I'm not afflicted with yellow fever, so I choose not to judge the questionable beauty in the eye of this Irish beholder. In the row behind me there is a legitimate global citizen, Ben. He is 17, sporting a neck tattoo that has effectively replaced his Adam's apple with an inked clock. He speaks 8 languages, his dad is Egyptian, his mum Venezuelan. He's supposed to be at home studying for next week's International Baccalaureate exams at the French School of Shanghai, but he just wants to run off his hangover after drinking all night then snorting coke till 7 a.m. this morning off the bare asses of Russian whores. Excuse me? He shows me some pictures on his phone that look far more appetising than those on Sean's. Is this child pornography? Ben is living in a parallel universe in which the study routine I undertook before my high school exams would look even more teacher-pet friendly than it already does. We arrive at a collection of sports grounds consisting of the customary assortment of soccer fields, tennis courts and an oval running track. Not so ordinary though is the eyesore of a power station behind barbed wire fencing at the end of the soccer oval. Skyscraping, plump grey chimneys reach out to the heavens and spew forth clouds of electricity generation runoff. The morning sunshine has given way to an overcast afternoon, and we walk towards the end oval, closest to the power station, and reconvene to sort out teams for a round robin. Flynn, jump on the Eagles team. Here's a jersey and you'll find a pair of boots and some shorts in that kit over there. Tom hands me my jersey, and much to my amazement, in the kit there is a pair of boots which fit better than any shoes I've ever had. I see my Eagles teammates all grouped together and Sean leads us through a warm-up. A light jog around the oval has transformed my virgin lungs into desperate skanks. Every particle of contaminated air is smashing its way through my once pristine lung tissue in a debauched orgy, leaving me coughing, breathless and certain I'm never going to be playing Aussie rules footy in Shanghai after today. We finish the lap and start kicking a few balls between each other. It's been many, many years since I've played any organised sport, but my youth was spent with a constant foot, soccer, tennis or basketball in my grip, and it's good to be booting a footy, regardless of the permanent pulmonary damage it's costing. Okay, a couple of stretches, lads. Sean now leads the group in the final pre-game limbering routine. There's an older member of the group who has put on a fluorescent singlet and blows his whistle in the middle of the field. It's basically a converted soccer pitch with the goalposts replaced with some miniature replications of Aussie rules goals instead. As we jog to the middle, I become acutely aware of the fact I've never actually played this game. Oh, Flynn, you're pretty tall. You go ruckman, eh? Yeah, thanks, Sean. Yeah, sure. I mean, what's a ruckman? The ref blows his whistle and Tom stands in the middle of the pitch near the ref in a Bombers jersey. Sean yells at me, Flynn, go ruckman! Yeah, got it. I mean, what the fuck is he on about? We'll get in the fucking middle. Contest the bounce. I'm supposed to be the tall, gangly bloke who tips the ball at the bounce. The ruckman. Yes, we're in business. I take my spot opposite Tom and the ref hunches over to bounce the ball into contention. Tom and I run towards the centre to tip the ball. I jump forwards, straight on. Tom instead spins 90 degrees as he jumps up and extends his right arm. His elbow crunches through the base of my sternum like a bony dagger. If I had any hint of abdominal muscles, they might have deflected the hit. Instead, I'm wounded and useless as the game clock strikes 1 second. Tom taps the ball to one of his Bomber teammates and they race off down the field. I lurch towards the ground and feel some light rain on my back. It's probably acidic. The whistle blows again in the distance. The Bombers have scored the opening goal and I'm still looking at the dirt, having even more trouble breathing than usual. I stand up fully as the others come back towards the middle for another tip-off. I take a deep breath to prepare for the second bounce in 60 seconds and the heavy breathing induces a sickening cough. My lungs are burning like I've just inhaled pure sulfur dioxide, which is extremely likely. Fuck this. I line up Tom as the ref leans in to bounce the ball. I give my all in the 5-step lead into the tip-off and jump up, completing the newly tutored 90-degree swivel and smash all my weight into Tom, barely feigning an attempt at the ball. Tom and I collapse to the ground, both missing the ball. Sean yells, "Great work, Flynn!" as he scoops up the ball and races down the field. Here we go. I dust off and jump up, running down in support, not too sure of exactly what I'm meant to do. Sean kicks the ball wide to another Eagle, who then proceeds to kick the ball to me. Oh shit. The ball bounces a few metres in front of me into clear space. I haven't sprinted in years, but the knowledge there has to be someone chasing close behind me causes me to run at full pelt. I lunge down to shovel up the ball and continue on to goal-scoring glory. Not this time, Flynn. The ball wobbles as I bend to scoop. I lose balance and faceplant, missing the ball entirely but sliding along some gravel that somehow found its way onto the oval. My face is covered in dirt and my right leg is covered in blood. For fuck's sake, Shanghai, can you just help a brother out? A guy from the Bombers sees the blood and runs straight to me. "Mate, go get that sorted right now. We've got a good first aid kit. Clean that up straight away." As much as I don't want to play anymore, I don't want to seem like a total pussy. "Oh, nah, she'll be right, mate. I'm fine." "Honestly, mate, the turf here is fucking toxic. Another lad lost his leg last year, thanks to a gnarly infection from a cut way smaller than that." I don't respond. That's enough for me. I like my legs. I don't like China. I yell out to Sean I need to sub off and get straight to the sideline, coughing, wheezing and bleeding profusely as I rummage through the first aid kit. The emergency training component of my physiotherapy studies comes rushing back with the imminent threat of lower limb amputation. I find the gauze, bandaging, antiseptic creams and don't skimp on the application. One of the players' wives sees me cleaning up the wound and asks if I need any help. I reply that I'm fine and she follows up with saying that she's quickly going to the shops. If I'd like some food or a drink, she can grab it for me. I hand her a few hundred wine. "A bottle of Baijiu, please." She gives me a strange look of accepting disapproval and trudges off. I continue on with cleaning any fragment of leg-removing infection possibilities. I'm all bandaged up and back in the original clothes I set out from home in several hours earlier. My Baijiu delivery arrives. I thank the lady, Jen, and gulp the hideous potion under slowly falling rain on the sideline, becoming rapidly intoxicated as I watch grown men chase an oblong leather ball around a field of venomous earth in the foreground of a horizon-crushing power terminal. Well, Happy New Year, China. He's a piss pod through and through. He's a bastard, so they say. Meant to go to heaven, but he went the other way and down, down, down. The back lounge of the Camel erupts, toasting to Bill, a lad from Perth who won best on ground for the day. There's no award for worst on ground, though it's certain that crown would be mine. Bill is no stranger to this cultured Aussie drinking theme song. He waits for the down, 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 like a seasoned pro, and demolishes his pint at Qingdao. I am absolutely off my guts. I stayed warm while watching from the sidelines by polishing off the entire bottle of Baijiu. I could barely board the bus, but once I did, I told half of my new mates I loved them, and the other half to go get fucked. No one was overly touched or offended. It seems they were mostly impressed at my ability to finish off the bottle solo, and all fairly entertained as I pissed out the window on a few occasions during the homeward journey. The moment we arrived back at the Camel, Sean ordered me a chicken parmigiana and forced me to down a litre of water. Top fella. I'd not eaten any chicken for the past month though. We're in the grips of a nationwide poultry scare campaign. The bird flu epidemic has killed a few hundred people in the outskirts of Shanghai. But when the parma arrived on the table, I couldn't resist. If there is one thing I will gladly die for, it's a chicken parma. It's now around 8 p.m. and the rest of the Tigers have done an excellent job in catching up to my level of drunkenness. The back lounge of the Camel is filled with ice buckets full of beer, wine and champagne bottles. Every minute or so there is a toast to a player for some performance or attribute. Everyone sculls their drink and swiftly refills in preparation for the next toast. We're dancing on tables and singing along to whatever 80s classic is booming through the room. This is the happiest I've been in months. I feel temporarily like I'm not actually in China. There's no better way to feel than that in this country. Tom jumps up on the bar, tells everyone to get back on the bus. We're going to do a lap of the city and he's just spent 5,000 yuan, about $1,000 on fireworks. Let's show Shanghai how the fucking Tigers party at New Year's, boys. We storm out. Sean waits at the door of the bus with garbage bags full of firecrackers, giving us each all sorts of explosives as we hop on. There's a huge esky with wheels on the aisle, stacked with bottles of baijiu and vodka. Tom stands at the front of the bus once more, telling us to aim the fireworks out the window and light the fuck out of the French concession. Sean hops in and takes the reins at the driver's seat. The Firecracker Express is off and blazing. Light 'em up! Everyone at the window aims their rocket launchers into the outside air and ignites the fuses. The night is alight with out-of-control Shanghai Tiger Aussie rules revellers. The rickety bus deafened with shoddy Chinese firecrackers. The half of Shanghai's population which hasn't abandoned the city for the holidays surely now wish they had. Each street we enter, filled with polite snake worshippers, is instantly obliterated by the Tiger shenanigans. If we're not lighting up the streets, we're drinking baijiu and vodka like three-eyed fish from the bunt. I'm seated in the row behind the driver. Sean's driving is shocking, but the time spent with Rob in the Range Rover has accustomed me to feeling on my deathbed at all times of engine propulsion. I take a huge swig of baijiu and yell through the blasting for Sean to open the door. I pile some rockets into the back of my jeans, tell Sean to drive a bit slower, walk out the door of the moving bus and climb up onto the roof using the side windows as perfect footholds. Tom joins me on the roof and we fire the rockets into the night sky, laughing with certifiable elation as we dodge low-hanging tree branches, power lines and dirty laundry. The street beneath is glowing through the non-stop flashes firing out the bus's windows. Sean pulls up with a slam on the brakes. You fucking cunt. We're only moving marginally faster than snail's pace, but Tom and I are still flung forwards and drop over the front of the bus, 2 metres down to the frosty bitumen of Donghu Street. This is really going to hurt tomorrow. My right leg fires with pain, but I'm otherwise fine and ready to plough on with doing my country anything but proud. Tom is just laughing, screaming at the others to get out of the bus and bring all the booze with them. The 5,000 yuan of fireworks have evaporated into the New Year's sky. We reassemble in a park and the 20 or so of us finish off the bottles of hard liquor. Opposite is a huge sign for Club 88. The booze dries up quickly and Tom leads the charge, stumbling across the road and up the brightly lit side steps leading to 88. We walk into the most tackily elaborate nightclub of Chinese decadence. In the far distance is a bar, but the intervening space is a sea of timber stalls, crystal chandeliers and people. So many people. This is the playground for Chinese trust fund babies. Each booth is full of Shanghai's versions of the Hiltons or Kardashians, the Chinese elite, popping bottles, chugging cigars and playing some weird dice-rolling game. As we walk on through to the bar, the Chinese wannabe superstars look us over with acute hatred. I'd never before been so obviously vilified for the colour of my skin, but it seems clear the barman is avoiding serving us for being Caucasian. We stand at the bar for 15 minutes while the bar staff make purposeful eye contact with us, but continue to serve others. I'm completely over it and not interested in satisfying the barman's joy at being such a cunt. I tell Tom I'm going to shoot through and head home. As I begin my walk out, the barman yells, "Yeah, that right way, boy! Get out my club! Fuck off!" What did you say? Any intoxication instantly wipes clean. I say suck my dick! Fuck off! Listen, you little fucktard. Tom grabs me and pulls me away from the bar. Just leave it. You fight him, you have to fight everyone. Look around, mate. This is his turf. Leave it. Tom's right, damn it. I haven't been in a fight since I was 14, and the first chance I get in almost 2 decades is against someone an anorexic teenage girl could beat the fucking shit out of. This just isn't fair. Tom and I shake hands and I continue to walk out, taunted by the fuckwit barman's unrelenting, "Go home, you fucking white boy!" as I muster every cell of self-control to stop me from smashing the nearest champagne bottle and shoving the shards through the racist Pindic's neck. Walking back down the Club 88 stairs, the pain of the gash on my right leg returns with a vengeance as the alcohol binge starts wearing off. Each step sends fiery pangs through me. A late-night barbecue has been set up on the street corner nearest to the park. There's a light drizzle. I take cover under the barbecue's tarpaulin and wait for the guy to grill some kebabs of undetermined meat. I don't know if it's dog, monkey or panda, but it tastes sensational. I order another half-dozen kebab sticks, while an irritating cab driver keeps courting my business. I tell him I'll get a lift in a few minutes and give him my address, but just leave me the fuck alone as long as I'm under the tarp. Can't a man eat in peace? He seems happy enough with this and starts chatting with someone on his mobile. The rain stops and I throw the kebab sticks in the bin, make eye contact with the cabbie across the street and hobble over, taking as much weight as possible through my left leg with each stride. He opens the back door for me and I hop in. No more than half of my body has entered the cab before I'm shoved in and thrown to the far side of the back seat. 3 Chinese girls have crammed in next to me. The driver sets the cab in motion. We're flying through the streets. White boy, we come home with you pay us. We fuck you. What the fuck? No. Fuck off. Come on, we make you feel good. Which one of us you like? I should qualify. These girls are horrendous. Jabba the Hutt spent time with girls like this when preparing for his movie debut. Well, how much then? If the price is right. How much you think? Fuck, not much, sweetheart. I just want to go to sleep. No. We have fun with you, big boy. White man, big banana. Banana massage for you. I'm not sure what role the cabbie plays in this whole scam, but he has at least driven me home. We're on Mao Ming Road, a few hundred metres short of my place. I tell him to pull up, pay him and get out of the cab while the most ambitious trio of prostitutes on earth carry on with trying to convince me of their sexual prowess. As soon as girls like this start to look appealing, I'll be sure to chop my cock off. I wave the girls goodnight and start the walk home. I hobble across the road to a Chinese 7-Eleven equivalent, grab some 2-minute noodles and a tall boy at Qingdao. I'm sure I'm drunkenly mistaken, but the girl behind the counter is giving an alluring air. I see her almost every day on my way home when I pop in for milk, beers and noodles. The diet of champions. I never sense any hint of sexual tension, nor have I previously noticed her slender, downtrodden beauty. But having just spent the past 15 minutes in Shanghai's taxi of unsolicited piggery, I suppose anything looks reasonably spectacular. Happy Chinese New Year, sir. She's never this friendly. Maybe she's been sculling baijiu all day in honour of the snake. Oh, thank you. Happy Chinese New Year to you too. You have an excellent English accent. Where'd you learn? She just giggles and playfully says, Happy Chinese New Year, sir. A few more times, smiling constantly. She unpeels the lid on the noodle box and pours in some hot water from the tap behind the counter. Oh, thank you so much. Shay. She walks the noodles around to the front of the counter and proceeds out of the shop with me. What the fuck? We walk together all the way to my apartment. I'm holding an ice-cold Qingdao and a boiling hot plastic bowl of noodles. She stopped giggling and stares intently at her feet, not losing eye contact with the pavement or saying another word. I open my door, immediately turn the heater on and motion Miss 7-Eleven to take a seat on the couch. I pour half of the Qingdao into a glass for her. She refuses the drink but starts undressing out of her blue and white uniform. I place the noodles in her full cup of Qingdao on the counter and lead her through to my bed. We start kissing and undressing each other as the heater whirs away in the corner. She's now completely naked. A flat chest, massive bush of pubes and a nervously smiling young woman look up at me. For a girl who appears every bit a virgin, she reaches across to her pants on the bedside table and grabs a condom from the pocket, astutely unwrapping the Johnny, exuding everything but inexperience as she does so. Yeah, this is happening. I'm pounding away, hammer and tongs, wishing I'd never turned the fucking heater on as streams of sweat pour down my face and back and my right thigh cut burns in agony. She's lying on her back, her hairy legs wrapped around my pudgy torso. I'm soldiering on stoically, certain that my baijiu bender has numbed my dick and there are far too many flab molecules where muscle should be in my stomach and glutes to produce fast enough pelvic propulsion to have any hope of dropping a load. I roll on my back, content to just let her bob away on my cock like a crazed communist pole worshipper until she gets fed up with it. She gets frantic, pulling on her hair and slapping my face as she must be hopefully about to climax. I feel something starting to rouse in my loins too. Maybe the slap to the face enraged something deep in the pleasure cortex. I'm going to blow too. You fucking beauty. She covers her mouth, letting out a final scream as I shudder in unison. My first Asian. She rolls off and cuddles up next to me. I look down at my heroic little todger, eager to congratulate the tireless trooper. Fuck off. The condom is split in half. My bare knob stands unprotected and covered in muck. The ring of the condom still stuck around the base. My right thigh covered in blood. Please be my own. Fuck you, China. A mosquito the size of a small plane lines up for an easy buffet on my forearm. I wait for its safe landing, then smack the malaria spread at a kingdom come. Puff of blood stains my skin. I hate this place so much. Easter holidays, like Christmas, are not celebrated in the People's Republic, but I'm taking the piss so royally at work it really isn't an issue. Completing the bare minimum of operational tasks and simply hoping the phone rings sooner rather than later with the return to Singapore request. I'm lying under the shade of a tree in the gardens lining the Bund, sweating out my hangover on this Easter Monday lunch break, following a particularly savage Easter Sunday session with the Tigers. I sit up and watch people walking the Bund promenade, smiling and laughing, the stench of the Huangpu River no concern to them. Am I the only person with a functioning olfactory system around here? Who knows? I head back to work, reeking of booze. The office is empty. Lunch hours are 2 around here and they are taken very seriously. The majority of my workmates like to convene in the dining hall at the base of the building. Imagine an enormous school cafeteria full of an assortment of corporate citizens from each rung of that unifying corporate ladder, all bound together by the common tight-ass thread of not wanting to pay for their lunch. Sure, thriftiness is next to godliness, but lining up for 30 minutes to get a tray full of free rice and chicken, miso soup and green tea? No way, not for me. It's hard to tell if my workmates think I'm a bit stuck up for not joining them each day for their cafeteria lunch and chinwag. The 2 times I've joined, it's the same routine. Line up for fucking ages amongst all the other plonkers from the building's various companies. Get your meal of barely edible prison food, then sit at a table. Quickly finish your tucker, then slowly look at the clock until it's the designated time to return to your desk. Corporate citizenship is something I despise enough already without having to undergo that sort of torture. I'm amazed I went twice, but I figure I best sample it 2 times to be completely certain of the lunacy of my workmates. It doesn't really matter though. Since the wheeling and dealing season with smelter alcoholic sex addicts came to a close, lunchtime usually involves me racing off to the Shangri-La gym to go about a foreign concept to Chinese people. Exercise. I hate gyms, but the place is pristine. The pool may be full of chlorine, but it is impeccable. Most endearing of all, the gym is always empty. It's my solitary oasis in this overcrowded city. My phone rings. It's the big cheese. You ready to start trading yet? I thought you'd never ask. Great. Listen, Paul's all sorted for you to take up the derivatives role we spoke about before you took off to China. You haven't had a holiday since you started. How about you take a few weeks, go recharge or whatever it is you stupid Australians do, and let's get you started back in Singapore in the last week of April. Perfect. Right then, I'll let HR know and they'll send you an email with all the details, blah, blah, blah. I'll see you soon, sport. Oh, thanks so much, Joel. I'll see you soon. I hang up, clench my right fist in a little self-congratulatory pump, and then update all the communal files with every piece of necessary information about the cargoes I'm taking care of so my cafeteria-loving colleagues can carry on fine without me. I take a quick glance of Google Maps, thinking about where could be best for a quick holiday. I'll work something out. As long as I'm out of China, I'll be euphoric. I switch on the out-of-office function on my email, shut down the computer and hurry to the elevators without seeing a soul. I ring my parents from the overhead walkway atop Blue Jazzway Ring Road, letting them know the great news as I proceed down the stairs to the station, letting fly with spit all over the hand railing and a final shoulder charge into an oncoming pedestrian. Fare thee well, China. Operations 101, over.